Right, so now we get on with the other side, and again, wetting the area. Just slide the decal off the back end into the rough area that you want it to be. Take some of the water off so we can see what we're doing. Bringing it forward. Just literally getting it in the right position. Not quite there, is now. And then gently rub it over. Don't do that again. Rubbing her over so that she's in the area that you want it to settle. Just get all the air out if you can. Now the reason we gloss the aircraft, although hopefully it won't matter too much on this, is to stop what's called silvering. That's when the decal is shinier than the paint and it's basically air trapped. Now there are longer strips on this decals which go along the side. They're all in one, so there is carrier film, which is normally your main problem with your decals. But now the roundels probably won't make much difference, so she's all, the top of the wings is all sorted. We'll go straight onto the sides. Just keep checking exactly where they're going to go, because this is possibly the most important one. As I said, this is where silvering may occur if gloss isn't down. That's why we gloss the planes. Plus also with the clear acrylics, they are very susceptible to being scratched, and to use a really good strong gloss, i.e. Alclad 2, even clear, it stops this horrible silvering. So we have the long decal in place, drop it down to where she should go. Now it starts just below the canopy like so and up. Now if you can see just there, that's where it's not gone down quite enough. So we then get our cotton wool bud and just roll over, making sure all the air is taken out. It's not quite in the right place. That base should be level, which it is. Just below the canopy line, and that's in, just like so. Moving on to the tail area while we're at this end. Again, plenty of water so you can slide it about. Then with this, I'll just lift the decal off with a paintbrush and lace her on. Line it up to exactly where it's supposed to be, and on she goes. Then we have your serial number, which goes about there, X4561. Sliding that off with the brush this time again. Doesn't want to go. I'll sort that out, come back. Right, so continuing on. And the serials on. Here's a bit fiddly. Just lay them on with the brush. Checking the references. Whereabouts it should go, and it goes along that bottom line with half the 5 over, so that there is spot on, and then just quick roll over with the cotton wool bud, and that is that side done. And I'll do the other side exactly the same for the underneath, and we'll come back and then we'll get them bedded in. Right, so now our little spit is all decaled up, everything on, it's looking nice. Now we want to bed down so they look like the decals are painted on. Obviously when we were kids, this is where we went and all the rest of the parts would now be put on and away you go. But these days we tend to bed them down. Now with Airfix decals, as good as they are, they can be a little bit thick. Not as thick as Mk1a, but you need to really soften them up to make it work. So what we do, two ways that I do it. This stuff, Microsol, I tend to use the red one more than I do the blue. I've got the blue, but I do like the red. She seems to go soften it and to conform down at the panel lines a lot better. So first thing we do, get your brush, dip it in, and gently around the edges of the decal paint it on. And leave it to dry. Again, the main decal along the sides, paint it on. Try not to go over, and along the serial number and the area of tail flash. Turn around. There's a bit of water still on there, don't know how come that is. We'll take that off. Just around the outside of the decal. You don't want to get too much on your paintwork if you can help it. It can attack some gloss work. I found when I was using clear that if you did put too much on and she did overspill, it would leave a white mark if you weren't careful. So that's the decal solution applied over all the decals, just to see how well it goes down. Now, I don't know if you can see this very clearly, but this decal here is really starting to wrinkle up, so it's doing some good. But then the other side, it isn't. So I've got some on my brush and I'll just paint that on like so. Now that needs to be left to dry completely. These wrinkles hopefully will disappear. Don't touch them whatever you do, because they will just come off. The other side is all laying nice and flat. Just a quick touch up again. Just a little go over whilst I've got some on the brush. And if they don't conform properly, then a little trick that I've learnt, I'll show you about that probably anyway. A little bit on the wing. As I said, I don't really want it on the paintwork, so take it off. That should dry up. Okay. Anyway, that's the little one decaled and Mk1a applied, and she's starting to look quite nice now, I must admit. I'm quite pleased with her. So we'll leave it to be, let her dry, and we'll come back when she's dry. Right, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this on camera, but these decals just don't want to play ball. They are a little bit thick, not going down very well at all. So we get the Mk1a out. Now this is a thinner, obviously, so you've got to be very, very careful with it. Just gently paint it around the edges. Do not go over the paint if you can help it. Making sure that you cover the whole roundel, whole area. And again, on the sides, this is not conforming at all, so not sure why. Normally Airfix decals are superb. But this is not going in, so it calls for the drastic action. Okay, back round the other side. Again, we don't want to go over even the alclad gloss with it if we can help it. Covering the roundel, so hopefully she'll bed down. Again, along the sides, hopefully there'll be no silvering. It looks so far like we've got none, which is great. Obviously, serial number, finally the tail decal. Right, underneath. Now we do have quite a lot of detail on the underneath of these, underside of the Spitfire, so what we'll do, we'll make sure it gets a good coat. Again, avoiding the paint if at all possible. And again, the other side. Just paint it on. Now you may need to repeat this 2 or 3 times, but that'll bore you guys silly. So what I'll do, I'll carry on now until the decals are settled, or I'll wait and I'll carry on when we're happy. We can get back to them.